The Boston Tea Party. How it began. The Boston Tea Party took place on December 16, 1773. The colonists refused to follow the Townshend Acts. In response, Parliament retracted all taxes except on tea, which became known as the Tea Act of 1773. The colonists started smuggling Dutch tea, which cut into the sales of the East India Company, which Britain owned. In hopes of motivating the colonists to obey the Tea Act, Lord North made the price and the duty of the East India Company tea cost less. The Tea Act was a reminder to the colonists that it was Parliament's right to tax the colonists, which they didn't want to go with Parliament, like they were against it. There was a meeting at the Old South Meeting House the morning of December 16th. It was decided the tea ships leave without paying the duty tax. However, the collector of customs refused. This raised chaos back at the meeting house. A group of 100 to 150 men, which were the Sons of Liberty, disguised themselves as Mohawk Indians and boarded the ships in the middle of the night and dumped all of the tea cargo into the harbor. As a result of the dumped tea, Lord North persuaded Parliament to issue the Coercive Acts, also known as the Intolerable Acts, as punishment. The Boston Port Act, the Massachusetts Government Act, the Impartial Administration of Justice Act, and the amendment to the 1765 Quartering Act, and the Quebec Act, which wasn't really part of it, but they added it. The Boston Port Act said that it closed Boston Harbor to all shipping until the destroyed tea was paid for. The Massachusetts Government Act underscored Parliament's claim to supremacy over Massachusetts governor's powers, where the governor's powers were augmented and the council became an appointive rather than elective body. No town meetings could be held without permission. The Impartial Administration of Justice Act stated that any royal official that was accused of a capital crime would be tried in court in Britain. The amendment to the Quartering Act of 1765 permitted military commanders to lodge soldiers wherever necessary, even in private houses. And the Quebec Act had nothing to do with the Coercive Acts, but it confirmed the continuation of the French Civil War and fed American fears. And then John Adams, supported what the Sons of Liberty did. So he said, "There's a dignity, a majesty, a sublimity in this effort of the patriot that I greatly admire. This destruction of the tea is so bold, so daring, so firm, intrepid, and inflexible, and it must have so important consequences."